Hello there, I'm Adam Nagus, the founder and CEO of Digimasters. You might also know me from the Digimasters podcast and our experimental dive into the world of generative AI with the Digimasters Shorts podcast. Today we're diving into something truly exciting, our new product, Content Jutsu. Content Jutsu is a tool we've been using internally for some time, and I've been debating with myself if we should share how we are able to provide so much rich and specific content to our partners and clients when we are creating their go-to-market strategy or content campaign, or even creating a brand strategy. Today, I want to showcase two use cases. First, we're addressing a spectrum of business challenges and opportunities for organizations of all sizes. And second, we're giving you a peek into the future of generative AI, showing how Gen AI can transform digital products and your organization, but only if you also have the right data, automation, security, data operations, and an intuitive web design. Access through our browser, Content Jutsu is our answer to the complex needs of content, marketing, ideation, and product development within pretty much all organizations. At Digimasters, we're no strangers to crafting comprehensive go-to-market strategies, including brand strategy and content creation. And Content Jutsu was born out of our desire to really empower ourselves and also hopefully our clients to excel in these areas. So imagine creating high-quality content from images to research papers and even enchanting children's stories, all within less than 6 mouse clicks and in under 5 minutes. Whether it's markup, rich text, HTML, or code, Content Jutsu is about efficiency and quality. For large companies with established content and marketing teams, consider the immense time and cost savings. Imagine streamlining the content creation process from ideation to publication, and this will be in minutes instead of weeks. We're talking about significant operational cost reduction, not to mention the savings on agency fees, stock content, and expert consultations. And if you're actually building your brand or team from the ground up, Content Jutsu becomes your all-in-one content marketing and social team, keeping you informed on the most relevant topics. Plus, whenever you need that human touch, Digimasters and our extensive network of experts through CXO Lab are here to support you. Currently, we focus on creating a very actionable go-to-market strategy. And just to align on terminology, for us, go-to-market is the strategy and plan created to deliver the overall business strategy. So for example, if your business strategy is focused on creating a business which sells services and products through B2B to large enterprise customers, then your go-to-market strategy will focus on how your sales, partnerships, CRM, marketing, branding, and content strategy will all work together to deliver those business strategy goals. Go-to-market is not just about marketing or not just about sales, but it's the holistic approach that makes sure the sales team, customer success and customer services, partner managers, marketing and branding teams have a consistent message, consistent content and thought leadership for the target cohorts. So in this example, large enterprise customers. I hope that helps with our definition. We always make sure a strategy can be actioned, which is where Content Jutsu comes in. We use the platform to identify gaps in thought leadership. Then we ideate on key messages and then produce articles, blogs, images, email journeys, product descriptions, website content, keynote presentations, and social media posts, and probably another 15 other things that all align to a key message. And we do this in minutes. So, should we keep Content Jutsu to ourselves? Or should we also be making it self-service so our customers can continue to use it after the strategy has been proven? So let's find out. So join me as we explore the early, fully functional alpha version of Content Jutsu. When you first get to contentjutsu.digimasters.co.uk, this is the page you're greeted at. And you can start having a look around, find out a bit more about the product, listen to our podcast, or go to our actual blog site. And we'll come back to that in a minute. The first thing you can do is sign up. Now, when you're signing up, you might want to first search to see if your company already exists. So for example, for us, you just start typing Digimasters and you can see that the company Digimasters already exists. Because remember, this tool was designed to work with companies from a B2B perspective. So any user that gets added needs to be linked to an organization. Now, if your company doesn't exist, underneath, you'll see a form where you can easily type in. And I know everybody's familiar with how to sign up to digital products, but I just wanted to take you through some of the more interesting elements of why we're capturing certain information. So if you were capturing a company name, who should I do? Let's do CXO Lab for them. And they love to have LAB capitals. You can obviously put in their website, you can put in their LinkedIn page, and you can obviously select what type of company it is. Now, the reason we capture website and LinkedIn page is you have to remember, well, this is a content tool. So being able for us to actually see if there is a LinkedIn page or there is a website, see what type of content they already have there and more about the company is very helpful when you're designing, obviously, a brand strategy or a go-to-market strategy. Understanding what the type of company is. So it's a limited company and 2 to 5 employees. And then you can obviously upload your own logo, etc. Now, the final step is interesting, which is the company description. And what we use this for is, again, additional context. So if we're generating a blog or an article and we want the AI to know more about who CXO Lab are, then this is where you can actually enter this information. So you can say, we are a fractional career consulting and advisory company based in the United Kingdom. Now, the more information you give and context around it, the more specific the answers that the AI can provide when it's actually producing content for your company. And then you can just add company. So once you've added the company, you can then very quickly double check that it's in there by just going to CXO. And you see CXO Labs there, and then we can click open. And now we can start adding users. So let's add a new user. Let's go with, we'll call the person name's Pod and the certain name's Cast. And they are the CFO, and their work email is podcast@digimasters.co.uk. You can put your personal email in here as well. So that means we've got a second email if you ever lose access to your primary work email. You can optionally give us contact details for additional security, so SMS codes and things like that. So it's very useful. And if you have a personal LinkedIn page, this is where you would also provide that. Upload your profile image, and this is quite important. If you are the primary contact for the company, you tick this. If you don't tick this, then you will never be able to get back at the moment to the company page to review and change that information. Okay, so we're in. Now, let's go and generate some content. We've got 3 different areas to go. First of all, we've got some basic keywords. And what that means is when you go into keywords, if you are just wanting to have a look at some search terms to see if they're popular, you can click Find Search Terms, enter a keyword. You can see some of the things I've been doing. Let's do project management. Let's get 10 results back and click Add. So now what's happening is in the background, we've got not just obviously the AI, we've got a web front end, we've got automation, we've got a database, and we've got Generative AI all coming together to produce this information. So as I said in my introduction, just having a ChatGPT on its own does not provide you with this sort of level of user experience. So we can see in the background that processing is complete. So let's close the waiting screen. And it's got some recommendations for us. It says project management certification is a very highly searched term, and it's got quite a lot of competition, but less than the rest. So it's recommending, based on this ratio, the highest ratio, 1.9, that if you wrote a blog or an article about project management certification, it could do pretty well. And you can also add as many as you want and scroll down and do things like that. You can click back to go to the menu, or we can go straight to the ideas page. If you wanted to go straight to the ideas page, that would have been this icon. Let's go to ideas. Review your existing ideas and edit them. We don't have any at the moment, so we're going to click generate an idea. What type of content do we want? So I mentioned, again, there's a lot of different types. Like LinkedIn, long posts, short posts, market research reports. There's about 16 or 17 prompts in here that content types that actually have been developed, and we have some that are in beta, like CV generation, that's work in progress at the moment, and even children's stories. I often also use this to write greeting cards, so apologies if you think it's a heartfelt message, but I may have been using Content Jutsu to help write my birthday cards. So let's start with something like a blog, and we might have no idea exactly what we want to do, so let's stick with the CXO Lab example and go something to do with fractional careers. So now we can decide whether to include the company's outline that we put in place when we signed up as a company. We also have a new feature coming, which is including your personal context. So if you don't want to include you as a member of, in this case, CXO Lab, but you want to include yourself as information about who you are, because it's more of a blog about your personal circumstance and who you are and your position inside CXO Lab, so what type of fractional worker you are, then you could click this box instead. So I'll leave it off for now and just click add. So what's happening right now is we are now processing just a very vague outline called fractional career, and we're going to see what type of ideas coming back. Now, we've created lots of very specific prompts around how to generate ideas for blog content. And as I said before, potentially based on your company or you as an individual, but we've kept it generic. And the information has come back. Just before we have a look at the idea, you can see on the top left, we've got credits and 8. And the reason it's 8 is because we started off with 10 credits. So when you sign up for a free account at the moment, you automatically get 10 credits. And 1 credit is used every time you generate an idea or generate content. So we've got 8 more edits or new content we can create on this account before we run out of credit. And we've also got this status that says enabled. So if your account is enabled, it should work. It'll say out of credit if you've run out of credit, or for some reason we've disabled your account, it'll say disabled here. So it should be very clear if your account should work or not. And always pay attention to the processing status, because a lot of things go on behind the scenes with all the processing that takes place to store this information, to bring it back, to send to the AI. And all of that takes time. So whilst you're sitting there going, is it actually working? We've built in a status to for us to know if it's actually working or not, or if there's an error, it'll come back and say processing error. So we have a blog, and the idea is exploring the rise of fractional executives, how the professionals can leverage their enterprise across industries. This blog post would shed light on the growing trend of fractional careers, where experts offer their skills on a part-time or project basis to various organizations. It sounds quite an interesting blog. I wouldn't mind seeing what that's talk about. So what we can do here is, the instructions say click the row to open, because each row in the above table are actually ideas that have been generated. So we could just delete and do a different one. We could edit the word fractional career and get it to regenerate, or we'll just click on it and let's actually go and generate the content. So it's just taking us through to the details page where when we can find out more information. So we've got the actual idea there again, and we've got a blank SEO summary, hasn't been published anywhere. There isn't much information on this page. We can scroll down, see the processing status isn't doing anything. There's still 8 credits. It's a content type blog, and we've not generated any images yet. So let's go back up and let's read what it says. Click generate content. Let's do that. Now, what we've built in here is, because it can take a minute or two to generate, if you want to go and do something, we've got this little checkbox that says email on process completion, and I often use this. So I just click update, and off that goes, and it's going to generate a blog based on that idea. You can see that in the background, behind the modal, it says processing, please wait. So until that goes back to processing complete, and obviously we'll see hopefully text populated, we know that the AI is still thinking about what it needs to do. So we can see processing completes come back, and a lot of text seems to be here. So we can close this modal and have a look at it. It's giving us a title, Revolutionizing Professional Landscapes, Unleashing the Potential of the Fractional Executive Model. And then we've got a subheading, Exploring the Rise of the Fractional Executive, How Professionals Can Leverage Their Expertise Across Industries. And the way we formatted this blog, and apologies, it keeps refreshing to make sure there's no changes or data that's come through, is we've given it a bit of an introduction. We've asked it to then give 5 bullet points in a list about what's in the content, and then it's put all the H1, H2, and H3 markup headings already in here. So we have a full blog in here with a conclusion, and we can read through this and make sure it makes sense. And then we can read an SEO summary. So this is about if you post this as a blog, this is what Google would use to find out more about it, or people would find out more about it, and helps with the search criteria to move it up the rankings in Google. And obviously the published URL is not there because we've not published this yet. But the next thing we would do is we would obviously read through it, and then we could click edit, or we could export it, publish it, or delete it. So what we're going to do is we're going to export it. And what's this going to do is that's going to send an email to me, but it's also, the way we've built it is we've also created an integration with Microsoft Teams. So we've created a group around Content Jutsu, and every time we produce something that we want reviewing, we can just go into that group, and it should just post in Content Jutsu. Yeah, new content explorer for you. Explore the fractional executive model. So it's put the SEO summary in there. So the team knows that there's something to go and have a look, or I can go to my inbox right now. I heard it ping, and there'll be an email there with all that content ready for me to read. If I want to actually edit it or make a change, I can click edit, and that brings up everything in an editable field. But I can also write some notes. So I could say to the AI, I could say, make it longer. I could say, make it more formal. Let's try something I haven't done before, which is going to be interesting. Let's see. Please remove some of the headings. See if that works, and click update. So what it's doing is something quite clever. Now, one of the limitations with a lot of the generative AI models right now is they don't have a memory. So you can't actually make changes the way we've done. Now, what Content Jutsu does is it remembers, obviously, the piece of work that we've just created, and it's actually sending all of this back to the AI to remind it, because it hasn't got memory, of what it's just created. And then it's appended our change notes, our edit notes onto it to help make those modifications. So if you were part of a team that was doing this, you could suggest some edit notes and changes, and that's all you would have to do is click edit, put those edit notes in, and click update, and off it would go. So once you're happy with the current content, what we can do now, as I showed before, is we scroll down to 7 credits. We've got another heading here called Generate Images. And what we've done with here is create an image generator. The first thing you do is click Change Images, and we allow you to create 3 images at the same time. You can also change the primary image. So what that means is you may be creating 3 images, but typically you have what's called a hero image, hero at the top of a blog. So of the 3 that you like the best, you just need to say, I like number 3 the best. So you come in, click Change Primary Image, and then say number 3, and update, and then that will change to number 3. And that means that when we publish this blog, it will take the 3rd image and ignore the first 2. Let's actually generate some of these things. We want to generate 1 image. And the other thing that we've done is we've created a whole load of different styles. So you can go with Art Deco, chibi, classic clip art, digital art, like a Dilbert style hand-drawn Disney cartoon, or sorry, Disney. So there's lots and lots of different styles in here. Something like the New Yorker or photorealistic. So let's create a photorealistic for number one. Let's go with something a bit more fun. Let's say highly stylized and very creative. And then for the third one, let's go with anime, see what it does, and then click update. What that's doing now is it's going to take the information about fractional careers in this blog. It's going to look at some of the key components in there. It's going to look at the styles that we've asked it to create, and then it's going to go and generate 3 different images, hopefully to do with this blog. And we'll get to review them, and if we want to regenerate them, we can. But every time we regenerate, we are using a credit. So we have 1, 2, 3. Now, that's not very clear and easy to see. So if you click on any of the images, we'll go to a detailed image page where we can see larger images. And if we click it again, you can see that this one is 16 by 9 in landscape. And this is the photorealistic version. Then we've got highly stylized and creative. And this is in a square 1:1 ratio. And then we've got this more anime style rise of the fractional executive that's been generated. It doesn't handle text very well. This is being produced by DALL-E 3, if anybody is interested. And I do try and make sure that text doesn't come in, but most of the time we take the image and we might just delete the text or something like that. But you can see straight away that we have 3 very interesting images, all suitable for this blog. So let's quickly go back and let's see. I'm going to go and probably pick image 2 for the blog. So we have a title, a blog, a summary. We've also got a hero image for the blog. So what's left for us to do is actually just click, finish refreshing, thank you, publish. So what that does now is that is actually running an automation to take all this information together and actually post it directly live to our WordPress blog. So if you go to blog.digimasters.co.uk, you'll see this blog is now live and you can able to read it. And when we scroll up, once it's finished processing, where it says published URL, this will be populated with the link to the actual website. And there it is. So if I actually click on that, and you can see we've got a slug. That the slug means English text is in the name of the URL instead of just gobbledygook codes. And this helps with Google search and SEO as well. So we've automatically created a slug that goes in the end to help Google actually find these blogs. When we click on that, it'll take us directly to this live blog that's already formatted with everything that we asked for. So hopefully that was a very quick and easy run through of the different types of things you can do with Content Jutsu. I could create a video about all the different types of content we've got, but that would probably take a very long time. But again, going back to generate idea and just remind you of all the different things we can do. As I said, creating educational material, textbooks, email campaigns, email journeys. One of the interesting things is we often take a existing blog like we've just done now, create LinkedIn, put the link to the blog in there and generate an actual social post off an existing blog. So even if you created something that isn't in Content Jutsu, but you wanted to change it into a social post, to let people know about that blog or any thought leadership material, we use Content Jutsu to actually convert things that already exist just by pasting a link in here. That scrapes and picks up the information and then converts it into a social post. Look out for another video or a clip, and I'll show you how we do that. But hopefully you found this video informative, and yes, please give us your feedback. And if you want to sign up for a free account and use your 10 credits, do just go to contentjutsu.digimasters.co.uk.